The New York Giants will hold their rookie minicamp on Friday and Saturday in East Rutherford, New Jersey. So let's talk a little bit about the 2024 Giants rookie class, including some of the undrafted free agents who will be working out for the Giants over the weekend. All right, please like, share, and subscribe if you like the content here on the Big Blue View YouTube channel. Just need to get that little promo in before we get started. So let's now talk about rookie minicamp. Obviously, Giants drafted 6 players, led by wide receiver Malik Neighbors at number 6 overall. This weekend will be the first time that we get to see these players on the field. Media will be allowed to attend the practices on Friday and Saturday. And a Big Blue View will have some impressions, some interviews, some thoughts on what we see over the weekend at bigblueview.com. Just a quick thought. I was thinking about some of the rookie mini camps, of past years, and I was not covering the Giants at the time when Eli Manning was a rookie, but I know a lot of the reporters who were, a lot of the guys that are still around covering the team. And I remember them saying that Eli couldn't hit the broadside of a barn during rookie mini camp. So really, it's just a reminder not to draw a conclusion about what these players are going to be or what they're not going to be based on what you see in these first couple of rookie minicamp practices. Darius Slayton has been, one of the Giants' best receivers now during the Daniel Jones era as Giants quarterback. He came in the same year as Jones did as a 5th-round pick. And I remember being at that first rookie minicamp practice with Jones and Slayton, and Slayton couldn't catch a thing. He dropped pretty much everything that was thrown to him that day. And yes, early in his career, drops were an issue for Slayton, but he has always been a productive receiver for the Giants throughout his career. Something that if you pass judgment on the young man after that first rookie minicamp practice, you never would have expected that he would have turned into the kind of player that he has for the Giants. So while we know that you guys will be looking forward to all of the reports, and some of what you hear will concern you, some of what you hear will get you excited, please don't draw any conclusions on who's going to be a star, which undrafted free agents, which tryout players are going to make the roster. We don't know. I mean, some of these guys might get our attention over the weekend, but there's so much yet to be determined that 2 days of rookie mini camp in shorts and t-shirts isn't going to decide anyone's fate. So as Brian Dable always says at this time of year, this is really just an introduction to these guys, to how the Giants do things, to how they conduct practice, to where things are in the building, to where the lunchroom is, to where the weight room is, to who the people are around the building, who the secretaries are, who the PR people are. These guys are just sort of finding their footing. And it's a first step, an introduction into life in the NFL for these guys. All right, what I did want to do today is not really focus on the 6 picks that Joe Schoen made in the draft, but I want to talk a little bit about the undrafted players that the Giants have signed to this point. And a reminder that all of those are unofficial until the Giants announce them, which they probably aren't going to do until Friday, right before the team hits the field. That has been their history, is not to really make all of that official until we actually get to the rookie minicamp. Wanted to just briefly go through the 8 reported signings that Big Blue View is aware of at this point in time. Giants, as you guys know, did not draft any offensive linemen. They do have two intriguing offensive linemen coming in as undrafted free agents. Nick Filato has a brief film study here on the Big Blue View channel if you guys want to take a look at that. But we're talking about Marcellus Johnson, an offensive tackle out of Missouri, who could be a swing tackle option, developmental player who was in Missouri, played for Missouri last year, played some right guard, played some right tackle, suffered an ankle injury that I believe limited him to 5 games, but was a left tackle at Eastern Michigan before going to Missouri. And reports are that based on his film at Eastern Michigan, that there are people who think he has NFL level talent. And, we'll see if that manifests itself. The other offensive lineman that the Giants have brought in is Jake Kubas, a guard out of North Dakota State. Giants reportedly gave Kubas a $270,000 guarantee, the most that they paid to any free agent. So Kubas played right guard for North Dakota State. We'll see if he can become an interior offensive line option, at least a guy that could be a backup. Maybe he's ticketed for the practice squad. Don't know, but the amount of money that the Giants guaranteed him certainly doesn't guarantee him a roster spot, but it guarantees him a good long look. We know that last year the Giants gave wide receiver Bryce Ford Wheaton a bigger guarantee than they gave any other undrafted free agent. And Ford Wheaton looked like he might make the 53-man roster, mostly as a special teams player, before he suffered a torn ACL that landed him on injured reserve for the 2023 season. Let's talk about a couple of the other players. Two wide receivers brought in by the Giants. John Giles, a big guy out of Western Florida, guy who is, I believe, 6'6", 219 pounds. Guy who, 6'2", 219 pounds. Obviously a big body guy that was productive, at a small school. So he'll be an intriguing player to watch, maybe for a depth spot, maybe for a practice squad spot. That is still one of those things that the Giants really don't have, is that big bodied, contested catch type of wide receiver. Could Giles be that? Don't know, but but he is perhaps a guy worth watching. Another wide receiver they brought in is Ayir Asante, guy who played most of his collegiate career at Holy Cross. Guy who doesn't actually have a ton of production, played his final collegiate season at Wyoming and had, I believe, 21 catches in 13 games. Smaller guy, probably a slot guy, a lot of speed, a lot of there's big playability there, but not a ton of collegiate production, which is probably why Asante did not get drafted. But we'll see if the Giants can unlock something with this kid. Obviously, speed always gets an opportunity in the NFL, and we'll see if Asante is a player who can take advantage of his opportunity. All right, a couple of other guys to mention. An intriguing defensive back out of UCLA, Alex Johnson, guy who's mostly a safety, has some experience in the slot, had 5 interceptions at UCLA in 2023. So perhaps is a guy who could compete for a depth spot, compete for a practice squad spot. We know that we talk a lot about the Giants needing guys who can make game-changing plays. We talk a lot about the importance of turnovers in the NFL. You have to have those on defense. It's simply not possible to stop these offenses consistently to without turnovers, without the ability to put your offense in a in an advantageous position, to flip field position, to change possessions, get your team an extra possession. Maybe Johnson is a guy who can take those ball skills and earn a spot, initially as a backup safety, perhaps as a guy who could slide into the slot on occasion. But another name to pay attention to. Casey Rogers is a defensive tackle out of Oregon, 6'4", 294, guy reputed to have some juice as a pass rusher. We've talked a lot about the fact that the Giants could use more depth on the defensive line. Talked a lot about the fact that they lost Leonard Williams in a trade last year, let Ashawn Robinson go in free agency. They do have a couple of intriguing young players in DJ Davidson and Jordan Riley, a couple of adequate veterans in Raheem Nunez Roches and Jordan Phillips. But perhaps there's a spot for Rodgers. Perhaps there could be, as a developmental player, maybe another guy who lands on the practice squad. Ovi Aghufo, and again, I'm not sure how to pronounce that one, but linebacker, edge defender, excuse me, out of LSU. We know that the Giants at the top of their depth chart have Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns, and Azeez Ojulari, but the bottom of the depth chart, guys like Toman Fox, and a couple of other journeyman types who are going to be competing for roster spots. Perhaps, if Aghufo can impress, maybe like Toman Fox did a couple of years ago, maybe there's a spot for him at the bottom of the roster as a special teams player, and a developmental edge guy. So we'll have to see. But anyway, Giants fans, just wanted to briefly go through some of the options for the Giants, some of the undrafted guys. Obviously, all eyes will be on Malik Neighbors when rookie mini camp starts, and the other Giants draft picks: Tyler Nubin, second round pick; Andrew Phillips, third round pick as a cornerback. Joe Shane said he'll begin his work in the slot. We'll see what Phillips looks like. So a lot to unpack this weekend, a lot to look at as the Giants, as we get a first look at the Giants rookie class for 2024 on the field in a couple of days, and Big Blue View will be there to watch the proceedings, to let you guys know what we see, to give you some firsthand impressions. So please watch for those, and please continue to watch and support the Big Blue View YouTube channel. All right, thank you for listening. Please stay safe out there. Take care of each other, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.